Coming to New York can definitely feel overwhelming. So many people, and sometimes you just don't even know where to start. When you become a young professional after you graduate, it's a lot. Nobody likes to really talk about that transition, but it's really hard.
Most people who are here, their family's not here. They might be in New York, but they're not in Manhattan.
And I think the most important thing was finding community, and so that's what I looked for immediately when I came to New York.
To feel a part of the community, feel that I was, that I am Jewish and I can practice is everything. And to find that connection is what I was looking for.
And that's what brought me to Chabad.
And when you walk into here, the rabbi and the rebbitzin make you feel at home. It's from the second you walk in, the time you're here. When you don't come for a few weeks, you hear from them and you want to come back. If I had to put it in one word, it's home. You really feel at home.
When we moved here 16 years ago, Levi and I were definitely young. Were we professional? I don't think so.
The cause was saving the Siberian tiger.
We definitely had the enthusiasm and the determination to make it work and to make it a success. Our first event we ever made was Purim, and we had no idea what we were doing. We had no idea what to expect.
How many people would show up, what type of people would show up. We started spreading the word.
We had 0 RSVPs. Suffice it to say, a very big crowd of people showed up.
The community here is extremely welcoming. You can walk into a Shabbat dinner completely by yourself, which I've done, and not know a single person in the room, and walk out feeling confident that you've made a new friend or even 10 new friends.
You go around, you introduce yourself, you just see so many different backgrounds, where people are from, what people do. The opportunity to reflect on a meaningful question, unwind, hear other people's answers. It's really a special place to be.
You're ambitious, you want to experience New York to the fullest, but you still have a deep, deep sense of who you are. And when you walk into here, you're welcome and you feel at home.
It also serves as a grounding mechanism for you that everything else can change, but you need some things to be constant. If you have a place to practice your religion, you have a community, you have a rabbi, you have a home, it makes everything easier.
It's very inspiring. It's very selfless of them to devote themselves both to Judaism, building a community of young professionals. They're passing that on, and that knowledge and sharing that with the community is extremely honorable.
I grew up in a Reform synagogue, and then I got to Chabad, and I realized that this was like a whole new way of looking at Judaism and engaging with Judaism, and I think Peril and Levi have showed me that path. And it's something that I think is always going to be a part of how I practice Judaism.
The Schmackens do an amazing job of spreading a love of Hashem, a love of studying Torah and spirituality. They really help bring out the best in people and the best of their souls.
I didn't know it at the time, but my first Shabbat dinner at their home was actually their first Shabbat dinner too. But you would never know it. They had such an ease about them, and they were so warm, and it was so much fun. And I loved watching their growing family, and it certainly was growing over that period. Watching their kids around it, and just seeing them involved, and knowing the songs, and knowing the prayers, and knowing the customs, and that was definitely something I would look at as like a young single person and be like, I want my kids to be surrounded by Shabbat and surrounded by the prayers and know the prayers and have such a comfort in doing the Jewish customs. I lost my father in December. Levi and Peril made a point on a Sunday to come. They left their children on a Sunday and came and spent the whole day with us. It meant the world. It meant the world to me. They didn't know my dad, but it didn't matter. They wanted to be there for us, and that was really special.
They welcomed me in as if I was one of their kids. They had me every week and I felt like family there. The warmth and the love and of course all the good food, and you just, you sit, you talk to people, you meet people. I've met, obviously my husband and my forever partner, but I've met some of my best friends at Chabad. They've been at every point in my life. They've seen me single and childless, to dating somebody new, to engaged, to married, and they married us. They were there for Simon's Bleed. These are people you celebrate all of life's really, really happy moments with, and that are there for you in the not so happy moments in life as well.
It's a very consistent thing in an otherwise hectic place here in New York. New York is a tough place. Everything's expensive, everything is hard. Company shut down once was acquired, then COVID happened. There was a lot going on in the past 7 years. But every time I was able to go back to Chabad, the rabbi comes around, asks you how you're doing, pours you a shot of whiskey, or now tequila since I've been with Loen. And you can just relax and you don't have to put up too much of an effort. I have a place, I have a Seder, I can go. People are taking care of me.
You feel comfortable to not make Shabbat for weeks and then come back to back 3 weeks in a row, to come for 5 minutes, to come for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. You feel comfortable, you feel no obligations, you feel no judgment, and that's been the constant that's just been so important. The constant feeling here is a feeling of ease.
My relationship with Judaism hasn't been linear necessarily. What I have found with Levi and Peril is that as my relationship with Judaism evolves, they are able to support me and answer my questions and deliver experiences that I need, that I'm seeking, kind of regardless of where I am on that journey. And I know that journey will continue to evolve. As I said, my father recently passed, and that was just 2 months ago. And I've already seen how my relationship with my Judaism has changed even since then. And I know this is a marathon, not a sprint. So
I think it's really important to continue to inspire people, especially at this time in their lives, because that's when it's going to go down to their children and their children's children. You're never done growing. You're never done tapping into your true potential. And Chabad Young Professionals is just a really great way to bring people closer to Hashem, closer to their truest selves and their divine, purpose. And it's really, really important that that's passed down for generations to come.